Yeah, chicken wing gang. So man, listen, Dre, it's good
Oh, I
with
have
you.
two cents on
Nah,
that.
nah, nah. We not. I'm just saying. I seen.
Chicken wing gang.
We posted a video, man. We talking about can a boy be raised by a woman to become a man? Because I seen a video. Somebody, I think you posted that shit of a woman talking about can she, what I mean, raise a boy to be a man. And I know a lot of people gonna get offended by some of the shit we might be saying here, but well, all wells and ends well, right?
Not all
Yeah,
those ends well.
that's how it goes.
I, I I thought that it was very. It was one of those things where it's an interesting topic because I am a man and my mother raised me. No, nobody else. All right, fuck y'all.
Nah, my
Well, my
mother
mother
raised.
didn't raise me, so
Kev mother ain't raised him. I was raised by my mother. But the shit was is like a lot of people say nowadays, like only fucking a woman by herself can raise a boy to be a man, and like let's be real, like I'm a fucking man. It's only so much information and knowledge your mother can give you on what not to do as to be a bad man, but you need to hear your fucking father's side or a male's point of view to fucking understand what it is to be a man. Like it's
I
real.
agree.
Like I get
Some father figure.
yeah.
Some father figure.
Yeah, cause come on, man, be real. You're gonna search for a male figure as a male. You're gonna search for somebody who looks like you, so you get understanding. Because you hear your mom telling you all this stuff, and you like, you know what? You got to have some man input. It may not always be good advice, but you need the advice. You need
yeah.
it.
I mean, that's I can't deny
You
that.
you need to know. All right. I know we're going to talk about it, but when it comes to my experience, I do think that you need a set of rules to live by, like of what men do. I can't really tell. I think I learned a lot from my grandfather. Ding ding ding. How many times we say grandfather? Um, how
Yeah.
to actually be a man and what it meant, like a handshake, looking somebody in the eye. You know what I mean? My mom too. You know what I'm saying? But or excuse me, my dad too. But there's a lot that a woman does offer that also is the backbone to becoming a man too. But are you going to have it all? I'm not sure.
Okay.
You not. I mean, you're not gonna have it all. You're gonna be missing. Yo, you legit gonna be missing out on some shit, man. Like, let's be real. I always used to hear you tell me a story, Dre. You was like,
Me?
because like, yeah, you used to tell me like, yo, I never. When you was younger, you said you got into a fight, you let a nigga like bully you, and you didn't have that like father figure to be like, yo, go out there and stand up as a man to be yourself. Like I had that.
Right.
Like my dad was there at the beginning stages of my life, and my dad I remember plenty of times I came running home because I didn't want to catch a L, and and he took me back outside and he said, "You gonna fight?" Like he and it's like, and people, women like, well, that's not teaching you to be a man. It's like, no, but
It's the
that's
building blocks.
it's the building block. It's teaching you to stand on something and not be afraid. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to protect your woman. You can't be running in the house and running behind her and shit because your mom told you it's okay to, what I mean, not to fight or whatever. But some things only a man can teach you, man. I mean, nothing saying a woman can't raise a boy to be a man, but he's going to be missing some shit, some key components. He's
I don't
going to,
think a woman can raise a boy to be a man. I think that she can raise a boy to be an adult.
Okay.
She,
Expound on that.
I think that a woman can teach you responsibilities. I think that she can teach you, or try to show you what her experiences are like when she's dealt with a good man. But she can't teach you the values and the mind of a man. Like she couldn't wake up and know what a man feels like when he wakes up and has to go through his everyday trials as a man. They can't teach that. She could teach her daughter how to be a woman because she knows. I couldn't teach my daughters how to be a woman. I could teach them how to be an adult, a responsible adult, and know what to expect from a man and how to maneuver and how to expect the dumb shit and how to know what's good for you and what's not right. But they can't raise them to be a man the way that a man would raise their son to be a man. If the man took the time and effort in raising his child the way he should, because she's not going to know how to be a man unless she was a man.
Exactly. Dre, let me ask, because you was solely raised, or we all was, so me and you were solely raised. Kev raised by his pops. But is it some, I mean, we had
I
a
was raised by a
grandfather.
village.
Yeah, I was raised by a village too. But do you feel as though it's something you wish you could have learned from your father and become like as you became a man that you think you needed from him?
Yeah, and like it starts off small with the thing. If I could just go in on what you just said earlier, talking about exactly what what transpired when I was in middle school. This is when I learned, and I had to learn naturally. That's why I bring that story up. Naturally, with a lot of people or a lot of guys with their dads that was like really, really in their life, probably might have known. Um, when somebody steps to you, you have to be able to at least defend yourself and to defend yourself and make it not okay for them to do that again. I didn't realize that at the time. My mom, which love her, she did what she could. She told me what she would do is, oh, you got to ignore people. You got to ignore people. Well, you can't ignore getting punched in the face.
Sure.
And I got punched in the face. And you can't ignore it. So what happened after that is everybody um, you call out of school the next day because you got punched in the face. So you don't go to school the next day. You think everybody forgot about it. Then you come in and everybody makes fun of you for getting punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. I wasn't leaking. It didn't leave no marks, but I got punched in the face by a high school nigga when I was in middle school. I already told this story, but what I always thought after that, you know what I mean, and obviously quiet in my room, is that when you grow up with somebody like how I am with any nephews or nieces or anybody that I know, I'm on some stuff like, yo, don't ever let nobody walk up on you and think they could do anything to you. I don't care if you think you're going to lose. I don't care what you need to do. You need to be ready to throw these no matter what. And that's what I feel like at that time I was missing, period. That was just me. So that's why I think that part is important. Now, there's more things than fighting and stuff like that, but I feel like it starts there because that right there teaches you not to let anybody take anything from you. And that's what I think a man could help instill in his son to become that man. That's just my opinion.
No, that's facts, dog. Like I had my pops was there. My pops was there from the beginning. So a lot of the stuff that, like you said, like how you said you ran and you tried to hide from the shit, huh? You didn't run, but you tried to hide from the what's the name?
Yeah, I didn't go to school the next day.
Yeah, like my dad wouldn't allow me to do that. Like when I was a kid, like we got picked on. My dad told me straight up. He said, "You got," and he meant that shit. I know I was repeating what he's saying, but he said, "Yo, you got two choices. Did you go out there and you stand up and you whip that boy ass, or I'm going to whip your ass and you still going to go out there and fight."
Yep.
Because I remember I was like a little, I was little, but I was younger, and it was a kid that was like a couple years older than me, like 3 or 4 years older than me. Like I knew I had no chance in hell beating this kid. But my dad was out there, and my dad was picking on me, and my dad got tired of the boy picking on me. So he said, "You know what? Your ass is gonna fight." Dude, I sat out there and he said he's gonna respect you for it as a man if you do it. I'm like, what is he talking about? But bro, I went out there, man, and this dude, I ain't gonna lie, every punch this dude hit me with felt like the hardest punch in the world, and it hurt so bad. And I'm swinging and I'm hitting, and I'm like, yo, he's not, I don't even think he's feeling these punches. And I kept fighting. And who came to save me was my aunt. My aunt came running out the crib and seen me fight. And she was like, "Why you got these boys fighting?" And she came and stopped the fight. I just literally laid on the ground. Like I just laid there, catch my breath, like hold my shit. But my dad was right. He was like, "You see that? The next day the boy became my friend because he's like my dad, like he'd rather be your friend than fight you every single day." That's how men are, where my aunt wouldn't let me fight the boy, and the boy would have just kept picking on me every day.
There's a respect level.
Yeah, so
within that society of being a man.
So I got that right there from my pops. It's like my pops was the one who instilled in me as a man, like, yo, you gotta, sometimes you don't want to do it, but you gotta stand on something and you can't back down. That's the only way you're gonna get respect. If you don't do it, they're gonna take what they want from you. Where sometimes as a woman, it's like, oh, you can walk away from a situation, be the bigger person, but it doesn't go like that. As far as men, men are like, we are territorial. Like we feel as though we rule that shit. We rule it. You know what I'm saying? We just take advantage of it, which is facts.
I feel like Kev, you got boys and girls. I have 2 daughters. I haven't been blessed with a boy yet. Hopefully, my next and last child will be a boy, if it comes to that. But when it comes to my daughters getting into altercations, or at least my oldest, because my youngest isn't there yet. When my oldest gets into altercations with other children, it's more of a need for me to interject into the situation. And by that, I mean, I got to talk to the parents. We got to go up to the school. We're going to nip this in the bud. But I wouldn't feel the same way if I had a son. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. If my son is in a situation, and like, especially like Kev's situation, I'm going the same route that Kev's dad did with him. Nah, you're going to have to see this man.
It's
That's
you.
all you're going to knuckle up.
Right.
And you're going to be ready. And if it's a problem next time, you're not going to be scared. You're going to do it again. And if you feel as though we got to practice, we're going to practice. We're going to get you right. But you're not running from this man, because you're going to be running from every man from that point on. You know what I'm saying? You're going to handle this situation right here and now. And then I guarantee you, it'll be alleviated. But see, the thing about that is nowadays, it's not the same, man. It's just not the same, yo. Like, it's like we want to teach our kids that, right? You want to stand up to your bullies, whether you got to shoot them the fair one, or, you know what I'm saying, however you got to do it. But nowadays, this motherfuckers will take you out. You know what I'm saying? At a young age.
Yeah.
You feel me? So the teachings that I have that I want to instill, it's fucking teeter and tottering, because I want you to know you got to stand up for yourself, be able to know how to protect yourself. But then you got to be very wary of these young little motherfuckers that is quick to grab a gun, or quick to poke you up, or, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to be the one to take the L.
But that's what you still have that knowledge in your head. And can I add a caveat to this topic here?
Please do.
I feel like it's not that a woman can't raise a boy to become a man. It's not that. And it's not cut and dry. Let's put that out there now. What it is the learning curve is much more different, or is more different from a man, or from a man who had to, grow up with his mother, and more female, female being there 24/7 than having either both or his father. It's just a steeper learning curve, because when we talk about Kev saying, what both of you guys said and what I said in reference to bullying and dealing with other kids, it's the fact that you have to learn it on the job, right? You would know that if you come across a bully, if I don't fight this man, he's going to keep coming. And you might have had to learn that by getting punched in the face, or by whatever. That's what it is. The learning curve is just a little bit more steep, is the caveat that I will offer to this conversation.
Yeah, and that's the point that we're trying to get across. I mean, obviously, if you're a woman who has a son, inevitably he's going to have to be a man. There's no doubt about that. He's going to have to grow. But is he a man mentally is the difference, because he's going to grow up to be an adult male. Being an adult male isn't the same thing as being a man.
Absolutely.
And it's not the same. You know what I mean? There's different characteristics and qualities of mental state that you transfer into. You know what I mean?
Right.
When they say I once was a boy and now I'm a man, there's a mental thing about that. It's not, oh yeah, now I got hair on my nuts. Now I can go to jail because I'm a man now. I'm at a certain age where I qualify to do things that I wasn't able to do as a child. Nah, it's a whole different aspect of life, in a different view, coming from a view and the aspect of a male, knowing that I can't raise my daughter the way that her mother could raise her, because her mental matches with her daughters. You know what I'm saying? Their trials and tribulations are going to be more similar than mine and hers.
Like, how many times you ever see a woman raising a boy, and a little girl hits them, and they say to their son, "Well, she hit you, hit her ass back."
Yep. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas your dad would be like, "Yo, man, don't put your
hands on a woman.
Don't put your hands on a woman." And now you can see
It's
a
not
lot.
true,
You
though.
could my pops always told me.
My dad, I remember this day. My pop.
Well, I'm pretty
I remember my dad said, "You don't ever hit a girl, but if she's hitting on you and she won't stop, don't ever hit her in the face."
but I
remember my dad saying that to me. He said, "Don't hit her in the face, okay? Sometimes they're not gonna stop. You got to make them stop somehow."
Honestly, true, but when you're a kid,
yeah. But I'm saying, but
he said that to me, and I was almost an adult.
what I'm saying about that shit is what I'm saying about that situation is like these young boys now just beating girls up, just seeing a girl having an argument with them and just teeing off on them. You know what I'm saying? Where as a man, like my son recently had an altercation with a girl. He was arguing with a girl, and he told the girl, bitch, I'll punch you in your fucking shit."
With the B in there?
Yeah, I lit him the fuck up. And all his aunts and his mom and his aunts and his mom was like, "Yo, but why did you do that to him?" Because I want him to understand, dog. It's one thing to protect yourself from a girl hitting you, grabbing her up. Then you fucking going to you gonna catch her because you don't like what she's saying. You just gonna haul off and punch the shit out of her. As a man, my dad told me straight up, you hit a girl, you better be prepared to go to jail or have somebody kill you. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah.
Can you bring that comment back up one more time about Nate, my boy?
Yeah, he said.
So I wanted to touch on that before we just pass it. You know what I mean? He said as long as she teaches him to provide and protect his family and fight for everything. Nah, you can teach your daughter that as a man to provide for yourself and your family, to provide some sort of protection, because at some point a woman might be a single parent, you know what I mean, not in a relationship. She has to do the same exact thing for her child. Yeah, but it's not that should just be the mind state of a parent in general.
But like I was saying about, like you were saying, like I was saying about my son, it was like, it's like you can teach, like you said, you can teach, but like I told my son, like, bro, you're not gonna go. Like, how would you feel? Like, my dad told me, like, you better be prepared for that shit. And he meant, because when he meant by that shit, it was like, yo, I know me as a father, but dude hit my daughter. There's a good chance he's probably not going to be around no more.
It's in the way we roll.
Yeah,
so the way we roll.
So
this is going to be a lot of phone calls.
You got to. And I told my son, like, yo, would you like if I punched your mom in the face for no reason because she argued with me? He's like, no. Mm-hmm. Like if I punched your grandma in the face for no reason, I'm arguing with him. He's like,
visual right there. I'm sorry.
It was like, no. I said, so you can't tell nobody daughter like that, because if that little girl had her like her father wasn't around, but like if she had her father in her life, he'd be at my house, he'd be at my doorstep right now, ready to fuck you up. Now I gotta go outside and protect you from him where I shouldn't. And if she came with her older brother, not a year or two off from your age, to come fight his son, guess what you going to do? You wanted to punch his daughter in the face. Now he brought his son, who's a year older and a little bit bigger than you. Go take your ass outside. And I'm telling dad straight up, here's how the fight gonna go. He'll fight him. He get knocked down. Don't fucking go over top him. Ain't no stomping. Ain't no beating him down once you knock him the fuck out. After that, the fight's over. I'm letting it be known now. I'm gonna let my son do, whatever. Go protect himself. Do what he gotta do because he was wrong. But let it be known, I in everybody's life out this motherfucker, if it goes beyond just a simple fight.
Can I add to that?
What's up?
Because that to me right there is exactly what I would do. And I think that's the part that when it comes to it's not men against women, but when you talk about women, a woman would try to protect him at all costs. You get what I'm saying? And something like that. Nah, he ain't do that. No, you ain't coming here and doing nothing. Da, da, da. But a man will see that and say, okay, this is a lesson that has to be taught. His dad came here. He got a son that's close to his age, and he had to defend his sister. I'm gonna say, come on, you was bad against her. You're gonna be bad against him. Go ahead. You got to fight him.
Yeah,
but a woman's gonna see that and be like, no, y'all not going. Da, da, da. But it's like that's part of that. That's part of that learning to be a man. There's consequences that come with what you've done. And these are the way the consequences should go.
Yeah.
You know?
I like what Crystal just said right there. If you want to
read it. Go. I do.
And this is Crystal Faye. In my opinion, she can only teach him what he should and shouldn't do as a man. If she's bitter towards her baby father, her teachings will be jaded for sure. But at the end of the day, that little boy needs some kind of male figure in his life that he can physically and emotionally and mentally relate to.
Kev, exactly. Find the claps and hit them. Find them.
Find them. You'll never find them. Find the claps.
I'll find the claps.
Look, he had to put those. That was smart. I like that. There it is. And that's one of our avid listeners and supporters, Chris. Yeah. Oh, and congrats on the baby, beautiful baby.
Oh, congratulations. Definitely congratulations.
And this is not off topic, but a little bit. So did y'all see that video of the teacher talking to the kid, telling her to go get her dad? And they were arguing back and forth, and he was like, don't talk to me. I told you not to talk to me. Go get your dad. And she said, my dad is dead. And he said, well, go dig him up and tell him to come talk to me. Did you see that?
But
I didn't see that.
I'm gonna send it to y'all.
But that's a man. So, that's a man raised by a man. I'm not arguing.
He said that's a man raised by a man.
Yo, that's facts, though.
Hey, bro. When I came.
Remember that.
When I came to y'all, I came to Winslow Township High School, right? For some reason, I don't know what it was, and you know, these people, we wound up being cool as shit by the end of the year. But when I first came, it was a whole bunch of white girls just for some reason talking crazy to me. Yeah. And you know me, I'm not the type to talk crazy to them.
He's like, go get your brother.
I had to tell a girl that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't being an asshole. My thing is like, look, I'm not going to argue with you. And I was raised by my mom. I said, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I said, go get your boyfriend. Go get him. I don't care who he is. I don't care where he is. Go get him. She said she ain't got a boyfriend. I said, go get your fucking dad. Go get somebody who I can have this conversation with, if that's what we going to do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
The two men that have that whole thing. You know what I mean? That whole argument, because two men, just like two things is going to happen with a man. Either you going to fight, or you going to be like, you know what, or you going to walk away from the situation. But that's that. Like I said, that's why I say you do need that male. You kind of need some type of male presence, because, dog, listen, a lot of kids back in the day, man, when they didn't have their father figure in their life, they latched on to sometimes, which is a bad thing, was a male figure in the streets that wasn't doing right. And now this woman thinks she raising this man, but it's like, yo,
he learning his male lessons from the nigga on the block.
Yeah, like you don't want to learn. Like
he ain't had no dad.
Exactly. We got raised. You got raised by our mom, Dre.
Getting deeper. Get deeper.
But really, most of our male lessons came from my grandfather, right or wrong.
Yeah. Correct. My father, like I said, I had a village. My dad, my grandfather. I mean, I even had my uncle around, my aunt, my grandmother. We were all close, still close. You know what I'm saying? But I got lessons from everybody who was older than me in the household. I got my ass whipped by everybody.
You know what? It's the same with girls, right? I feel like there is missing lessons. I had my nieces, right? There was some things that I had to tell them that was specific to just how to carry yourself.
Yeah, because you viewed it from the outside looking in.
No, male's point of view.
From a male's point of view.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's that, like certain things. I'm like, no. All right. So the one thing about my nieces, which they gonna, I ain't gonna say it, but I'll tell y'all because they don't even know. But anyway, when they got into fights, I would have to tell them like, yo, that is your fucking sister. You protect her. Y'all don't fight. You protect her. You know what I'm saying? That's how y'all should be. Y'all the only, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all the only sisters y'all got. That's how it's going to go. That's how y'all going to do it. And I had to put that in them. And the same thing has to be put in the brothers. I know y'all had to hear the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's something that a man sees and says, no, this has to be instilled in you from when you're a kid.
But let me tell you some horror stories my dad used to do to us. He used to, him and my cousin Jeff, they was boys, like they was homies. They grew up as kids. So my dad would get me and my brother and my cousin Jeff would get his son, little Jeff, God rest his soul, if you know my
Rest
cousin,
in peace.
and my cousin Henry. They would take us on back streets and make us fight. But they will make us fight to a point where when it became too personal, they just stopped the whole fight. And they was like, yo, all right, y'all cousins, I just want to see if y'all got hands and y'all can protect each other. He said, I don't care if y'all fight like this now because we here, but in the streets, can't nobody touch neither one of y'all. Y'all all better fight. Y'all going to deal with me.
Yep.
But my dad would just try. He was like, I'm here. He's like, you know what? I'm here to build y'all. He always just say this. He's like, I'm here to build soldiers. He's like, I got to build you to be able to protect what's yours in your household. Like, you can't be scared to protect what's in your household. So that's how he said, that's how I'm building you, be a soldier, that you ain't scared to do anything when it comes to protecting your family. You're not scared. You don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's an important lesson. He's absolutely correct.
So what do you feel it is specifically that it would be harder for a woman to teach a boy to learn to that a man would teach, that a boy would learn
from a man,
you know what I mean? Like, what do you feel as though it's harder for a woman to show a boy to become a man and build that process into becoming a man the same way that a man would? What difference would there be in the teachings itself? That would hinder.
You want to go, Dre? Or you go first. I'll go.
I feel like to me, it's nuanced. You know what I mean? Because there are things and they're more intangible. So like, because I'll go by just the stuff that I've learned, like that protecting and being the head of your family, right? Because that is a nuanced job, because you have to know the structure of a family, right? We know the structure of a family is God, you know what I'm saying, your partner and your kids. Now, some people will actually switch the kids and the partner and stuff like that, but it all goes like that. Sometimes that's not, and I think men and women do this. Don't ever get it twisted. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was raised by, like, my mom's strong, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to know the hierarchy of a family in order for it to run efficiently, I think can be something that is not necessarily given correctly, because if they didn't have it, you know what I'm saying? Or if they don't have it, they don't necessarily know how to give that. And that goes for men and women.
Yeah, okay. That's facts. I mean, it's like you said, there's a lot of nuances. I mean, if you want to tap on one, you can tap on, you know, when you start becoming like
your penis.
Yeah, interested in this opposite sex or a woman. Like, your mom is going to give you the whole rundown. You should treat a girl like this. You should treat every woman like this. You should treat all like that. Well, your dad is going to break it down like, yeah, it's certain women that deserve to be treated good. And there's certain ones out there, they are what they are. They for the street. Yeah,
this is a good one, yo.
Streets, you know what I'm saying?
I knew where he was going with this. I like this.
This is a good one.
Every woman ain't meant to be treated like queens. Some of these women are for the streets, and you got to be able to detect and know which ones is which, and don't be just laying down with anyone and making, you know, and claiming her to be yours and all this other stuff. Like, my dad told me that shit. He was like, yo, it's some ones that are good, there's some ones that's bad. You just better. I can only tell you from my experience, and most of my experience is right. Like, you got to be able to discern that, because niggas wind up with a hoe and whole life be ruined. Yes, and that's facts.
That's true. Okay, so we got y'all two, which are two separate things in itself. I would say, to piggyback off of the two of you, just off of personal experience, my father taught me how to walk, and not physically how to walk with two legs. It's how to find my path as a man, how to know how to deal with certain scenarios, being a man, especially a man of color, and to know what I'm up against. You know what I mean? In the eyes of a man, and not just tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like able to show me, especially from my grandfather, like just stories of the things that he's done and how he wished that he could have reacted better, knowing he was up against, and just teaching me or giving me the seed that was planted in the back of my mind when I was young to know eventually you're going to have to face this certain situation, and you might not get it on the first time, but let me tell you where I fucked up as a man, and I could have changed a scenario by being smarter and doing things this way.
Right.
Got many stories from him like that, you know what I mean? And they were just seeds being planted, because as a kid, you know what I mean? It's a story then. You're not really, you're thinking of the now and not the later. But as I became a man, my brain and my mind and my mentality progressed, and that seed was fucking grown. And I seen exactly what he said come to fruition, and was able to know how to react on certain scenarios. My dad, too. Same thing. We don't listen when we kids, because we kids, we're gonna do what the fuck we want. And my dad used to say that to me all the time. You do what the fuck you want. You just don't listen. He say that about Kev. He said about all of us. We was kids. We just didn't listen. We did what we wanted, and we had Chislehurst and West Sackle, so we was able to run freely. You know what I mean? Without no only repercussion we got was from our own parents. So as I became a man and not an adult, because I wouldn't personally think that I became a man when I turned 18. I think I was kind of still a kid. You know what I mean? I just was able to live an adult life, but I was still living it up like a kid. When my brain progressed and I became a man, I understood things that I couldn't understand as a kid.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Shit that made more sense to me being a man than a kid.
Right.
I'm sure that my mom wouldn't have been able to explain to me the way that my father and my grandfather could have, because they're two different shoes. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though a woman will always react differently than a man, and that's because of how they think, the chemical imbalance between the two. I'm not going to react the same way my wife reacts to certain situations. It's just facts. Certain things she might be cool with, I'm not cool with. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity arose and that lesson came to, I was able to use the words that they were given to me and direct them in, and be able to walk my path the way I'm supposed to as a man, and not defer or make that same mistake, because I remembered from two different men in my life who told me the same exact thing in different ways. This is how it should be done, bro. You know what I mean? And that in itself changed the person that I am to make me be a better person. Because if I didn't have my grandfather or my father, I'd probably still be a knucklehead. You know what I mean? Like I probably still do some of the dumb shit that I did back then, because I didn't have that influence to show me, yo, you got to kick that nut shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this isn't what it is. And you're going to learn the harder. It's going to be harder for you to learn in consideration now. Yo, get killer, B.
Fucking asshole. You was smoking that shit too. Niggas a fucking asshole. Shut up.
But in my path was detrimental, a detrimental lesson from both of them. You know what I mean? Because I know the shit that I used to get into that I wouldn't even indulge in now. So yeah, that's it for me though.
Yeah.
No more.
Jay made that.
Definitely smoke that. I want to go back into something Kev said, and knowing, and maybe I could take a different take from it, because that was a hard lesson I had to learn when I was a teenager about women or girls. Women at the time, it was girls, but women. That was a hard lesson. I learned that by myself. You know why? My mom wasn't equipped to handle it at the time, and she'll tell me that, like, yo, she didn't know what to do. I'm the oldest boy on that side of the family. So I'm the, you know what I mean? Like my cousin Antoine's, he's younger than me, but we're the same age, but he's younger. I'm the oldest boy. She the first one that had to go through that. So like as I go through puberty and I start liking girls and you start finding out things about yourself, and you know what I'm saying? Like you start doing certain things. That's something that when it comes to women, not a lot of them understand, especially if they didn't have any brothers. My mom didn't have any brothers. So she don't know that, yo, during puberty, shit get wild.
Yeah.
Shit get wild. Like you look at a little boy going through puberty, like, I don't even know this little nigga no more.
Yeah.
He's flipping out at me. He's going crazy. I'm about to beat this nigga the fuck up. All types of shit. I had a girlfriend back then, and you're a kid. And once I figured out what vagina was, right? Because I'm not gonna sit here and act like that I didn't have any contact with my dad or nothing like that. Like, yeah, but he didn't teach me none of that. Like literally nothing about women, nothing. So when I got my first piece of vagina, all bets was off. This shit feel like this? Let alone get my first piece of vagina. Then after that, they call it puppy love. But when you get into that type of mindset and you think that nothing else matter, the man is supposed to be there to be like, yo, keep your eye on the prize. Pussy gonna always be there. But
Yo,
you
crazy that I'm gonna get to that.
You gotta get your school, school and taking care of what you got to take care of is number one. You could go get your pussy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because a man understands what happens, the chemicals that go on in your body. Because it's not just you just being an asshole. It's testosterone coming out of your fucking ears at that age. You don't know what to do, and you find something to spend your time on other than sports. Man, that's my favorite. That's my new favorite thing to do is be inside this motherfucker. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big part of it too, is like the man being there to guide you, like, yo, you can get your shit, but look, do this. Do this.
Yep. Just to piggyback off you, same experience with my dad. You know what I mean? Like my dad used to tell me, yo, women is always gonna be here. The one thing, my dad still is funny as shit. But when I was a kid, my dad, yo, we are berries. We are berries. You gonna always have women. That's the shit that my dad used to tell me when I was a kid. He used to be like, you a berry. We gonna always have women. Ask your grandfather. All right. But they're always gonna be there. That's what he used to always tell me. They're always gonna be there.
So light skinned.
Focus on what you need to do because you can always get to that. It's always gonna be there for you. You gotta focus sometimes though. My grandmother, boy, don't you be messing with them dirty ass girls out there. That's it. There was no line. There was no good women. There was no bad women. There was just dirty little girls. That was it. Yeah. She didn't want me messing with none of them. No girls. You better only like yourself.
That's impossible.
That's every
you like
mother.
me?
That's impossible. You like me. Yo, you only like me.
All right. But that's it. Don't mess with these. You better not bring these girls. She didn't care what type of what. Don't bring none of these girls here and don't mess with them. That was it.
Well, my biological father gave me like the same like rundown.
Your sexual lessons with your dad is
crazy.
Right?
But my biological father told me this shit. He was like, you can get a piece of pussy before you get something to eat. I'm like, what? He was like, listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna break it down for you. He said, you can get a piece of pussy before you get something to eat. He said, son, let me tell you something. I can call 10 women up right now, and I can call 10 different women. I call all 10 of them women up, and I probably can have sex with nine out of them 10 women that I'm dealing with. He said, I can call them same 10 women up and ask them to make me dinner and something to eat. Out of them 10 women, maybe 2 or 3 might cook me dinner. I said, what? He was like, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He said, so stop worrying about these girls in the street and focus, because you can get a piece of pussy before you get something to eat. So know where your focus will be at.
Me being funny, I'd have told him, man, you got to work on your stroke game better, because all of them feeding you after you done.
Nah, they not feeding you no. Yo, dog, you not getting no.
That's a
You
jokey
not,
joke,
yeah, I
though.
know, but
It's a
you
little
would,
jokey
but
joke.
when he said, I'm like, it's
But
fact.
yeah.
I tried this shit out. I said,
He started trying to
Oh, I
shit.
did. had about 4 or 5
I
of
knew
them.
we was
Like,
gonna get to
yo,
this.
you gonna cook me something to eat?
He
Look
tried
at what
it
you
on
do in your
the
spare time.
I'm
He
not
tried it
cooking
on the
you.
rotation.
But yeah, she's like, I'm not.
Rotation.
But she said to me straight up, boy, I'm not cooking you nothing to eat. I'm not your girl. I
It's
said,
it's Monday. I
"Damn."
don't cook for you today.
But she said that. She said, I'm not cooking for you because I'm not your girl.
Mm.
But she just gave me some pussy and she's not my girl.
Mhm.
So that's lessons that a father teaches his son. Like you said, my mom like leave them little fucking dirty nappy head
Leave
girls
them little
alone.
dirty girls alone. Yo,
Like it's like I can't leave them alone because they got something I want.
they were dirty girls or they were fast ass girls.
They were fast ass.
Those were the only type of girls that existed in my grandmother's mind.
But you know what though? It's crazy because that's the women don't necessarily understand that because they'll tell you don't be out there mess. Like it's the funniest stuff in the world. The funniest thing in the world, and I probably said it here is when my aunt, my cousin's mom was telling him, don't be out there kissing no girls. We was young. We was like maybe 13. And my grandpa said, what you want him to be out there kissing boys? That was one of his favorite jokes to tell. One of his favorite jokes to tell. And it's so true. It's like, why are you telling them some stupid, like not my aunt's not stupid, but like women will do that because it's like they don't get it's like, no, what you're telling him is impossible. The way you take from this is let me show you how to protect yourself. Because I know you're gonna be out there doing it. Number one, don't do it in my house. You know, you might get lucky with that. Well, maybe you won't. But
that was number one rule: do not
do it in my house. That's all.
That was just it.
That's the only place I did it. That's the only place I did it. It was the best. But let me show you how to protect yourself. Now, a lot of people, it was an uproar back in the day because you might get some people that'll buy their kids condoms. But that's what you do, right? Why wouldn't you? Once you get a certain age and you smelling yourself, they say, and you smelling yourself, you like, let me teach you what really goes on, and let me get you some protection. So just in case you do it, you're doing it the way you should.
That's what my mom would say. Boy, you better be using protection. My mom would never. She'd never ever talk about sex. That would be the only line.
But you just
better be using protection.
But you just said something. The boys smelling themselves like they're getting old. Like my dad was still around to check me. When I started smelling myself, he's like, "Yo, your mother can't check you. Your father can check you and let you know like that." But that puts the thing in the back of your head and your mind, like, "Yo, just because you think you strong and you big and whatever." Nigga, let me show you that there's somebody bigger and badder out there. You need to get your attitude check as a man because you can't go around with all this hostility all the time. And that's another thing a woman can't teach a man because a man gonna have that testosterone. You bump into another man, it's either friendly or it's not. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no in between. Like women can hang around. Women will hang around and be friends with their enemies and talk shit behind them. They, you know what I mean, the women's back and all that other shit. Whereas men is like, yo, I don't like that motherfucker. Don't bring him around. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring him around. There's gonna be a problem. And your dad would teach you like, yo, how to discern, how to like not deal with people like that, backstabbing people, because it's different in the men and the women's world. Like a dude don't like you, he'll set you up and can do you grimy. And a lot like women shit is petty. What they do to the other women when they don't like each other. But man on man not liking each other, sometimes that shit can turn deadly. Like it can be really a life or death situation. Dude, I seen dudes not liking other dudes and was jealous of them and robbed them and killed them or whatever, or beat them down to like beat them ungodly because it was like they couldn't discern, they couldn't see through the fog. Probably ain't have a father there. Like, yo, know who your friends and know who your enemies are, because that was like one of my dad's biggest lies. He's like, you know what I mean, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And he, you know what I mean, before anybody in the streets told me that term, he told me exactly what it meant. I'm like, what the fuck you mean keep my enemies closer? He was like, you need to know what they doing, how they plotting on you. Need to know who hates you. You might have somebody who you think there is your friend, but always telling you what everybody's talking about and always, you know what I mean, coming back to you with negative news. He's like, that ain't really your friend. Like, how does he know this much dirt on you when he's sitting around and he still hasn't done anything about it? And he's still hanging with these people.
Yeah.
I'm like, you facts for that. Go ahead, Dre.
I'm agreeing. And I'm like, that, right there.
Yeah, a woman can't teach you that because most women hang around women who act like that. They still keep them around as friends. I'm like, yo, I see it all the time. Like, you don't like her, so why are you even talking to her? Well, she
Don't
just,
snitch. Don't snitch.
yeah, but I'm saying I ain't gonna tell the names of who and who and who. But you like, I'm like, oh, like I'm like, you don't like her, but you hanging with her? Yeah. Why is she still here? Well, I don't understand. And I'm like, I don't understand that. I tell my son straight up, you don't like a motherfucker, kick that motherfucker about your circle, dog. Cause he be the one that do you the dirtiest.
Well, I can't say that. I'm not going to say that women can't teach.
They can't
a
teach
man about his friends because
they can teach you to a point about a friend, but
I think it's harder for them to understand a man's friendship with another man.
Okay.
And be able to depict, you know what I mean? Like, because as a man, like, even as family, like me and Kevin have gone through shit. You know what I'm saying? But that didn't stop our relationship. Shit just happens. There's a difference between you going through shit and sometimes you knuckle your best friends because sometimes as a man, y'all got to get that out. You know what I'm saying? And then that shit is deaded. You know, y'all end up moving on. But it's harder for a woman to see that two men are dealing with some man shit. You feel me? It's harder for them to see that than them two men in that situation. You know what I mean? Because there's been times where I've been friends with somebody and we've gotten so upset with each other. It's like, well, fuck it. You want to shoot the fair one then? And then once we got done fighting the next day, everything was straight. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who won or who lost, that was that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You might be mad for a couple of days. It's usually the nigga who lost that's got a little bit of the anger left over for a couple of days. But afterwards, you niggas end up meeting on the court or whatever. As a kid, y'all start balling again. Shit just goes back to regular. Because it's just the moment you're angry about something as a kid that's more than likely goofy as fuck. As an adult, you wouldn't even care, you know what I mean? Or if you did care, if it escalated to a point where you fighting a nigga as an adult, that shit's probably over. You know what I mean? But as a kid, y'all rumbling over some bullshit. So it ends up, you know what I mean, dissipating over a short period of time. But I don't think that they can view that and understand that in the same way as a father can see, yo, you're fighting your friend because y'all two goofy niggas that's fighting each other over something done. Don't worry, y'all gonna get over it in a week.
Yep.
I've heard it, you know what I mean, from my parents.
Go over there and apologize.
Yeah, y'all fighting, y'all be cool next week. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna want to be his friend. Y'all known each other for too long. Y'all see each other every day. Who else you gonna have that kind of bond with? Shit happens.
So you know what I mean? Would you think that when it comes to that same exact thing, fathers are a lot more, I'm not going to say passive, but more like, you know, kind of go with the flow, and mothers are a little bit more protective. So that's why it's more like, what do you know, they going over there after you fight your friend, like, oh, let me talk to his mom. Nah, boys will be boys.
Well, what do you mean by
my no, protective? I get what he's saying, because my son, right,
like women being protective and men kind of being a little bit more like, yo, boys will be boys.
Yeah, that's facts.
I think the man will see a different lesson in a situation when it comes to his son than a woman will see. So he'll let something ride that, you know what I mean, a little bit longer than she would, because he knows, okay, nah, I've been through this. I know what this is like for a child as a boy. Let this one play out. You know what I mean? Because there's a lesson in this for him. Both of them, probably. You know what I mean? Whereas a mother, like you said, would be like, nah, I don't want nothing happening to my baby.
No, because women, they do that all the time. Your mama come up, you got beef at the school, your mom coming up to the school. Now it made your situation worse. Your dad, you better whip his ass when you go to school tomorrow. You ain't gonna get in trouble, but when you bump into him, you better whip his ass, and I better get a phone call that you whipped his ass, or something gonna happen to you when you come home. It's just like my son. He just got a 4-wheeler. Like, my brother finally brought my 4-wheeler over and shit. But his mom, I don't want him riding here. He can't ride without me being. I'm like, yo, stop. Okay, just chill. So let me talk to you. This is how it's gonna go down. You're gonna stop at every stop sign. You're gonna go take your bike in the path, in the dirt path. You're gonna wear this fucking helmet. You can ride. I don't care how much you ride, how often you ride. If you break any of those rules, then you not ride. I'm not sitting outside with you every day watching you ride some fucking four-wheeler that I don't want to be around. Keep your phone.
Because that's what that ultimately
when
comes
I
down
call
to.
you,
I don't want to be here for the bullshit.
when I call your motherfucker,
make sure that you do these things.
When I call your phone, you
We'll fuck
answer
you
me.
up.
Because I call your phone, you answer. Because if you don't, that means something happens to you. I'm coming looking for you. And if I come looking for you and nothing wrong with you, but you just not answering your phone, then you're gonna follow your mom bullshit rules. You're not gonna be able to ride this motherfucker and enjoy yourself. I don't care. You're a boy. Like your mom don't understand as me as a boy, I was sometimes 3 or 4 fucking towns over. Like 3 or 4 towns over. But I had rules in place. My dad didn't care. My dad, when I was young, my dad was around. He would tell me straight up. He'd say straight up, I don't care how long y'all be outside for, but y'all better be in shout. When we was younger, you better be in shouting distance of my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And when I call you, you better stop everything you doing. You better come see what I want. If you don't, then we got a problem.
Don't make me come find you.
You don't make me come find you.
I was about to say, because living in us having childhoods in Chislehurst and Wasako, it was free game for us because we could pretty much do whatever we wanted. I mean, as a child, going to roam in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Because it was much safer, well, significantly safer than most of the other neighborhoods around. But if we told them we were going somewhere, motherfucker, you better be there.
100%.
You better be there where you say you are, because ain't nothing like your parent having to come find you, and then while you're having the best time of your life, find you. And then find you, because when they found you, it is that great time has just escalated to the worst time of your life, the worst embarrassment, and for us, 9 times out of 10, there was some violence involved in front of everyone.
Can I tell you a story?
Please do.
This is one involving my father, right? Because the fact that you said the best time of your life, that's what made that story light up for me. That's absolutely true. Yo, we about to. This is my dad telling me, yo, we about to leave. We gonna leave. Yo, don't go past this block. What did I do? Of course, because I'm waiting. He taking mad long. I go play basketball right past the block. If anybody knows where I grew up, right down the block, there is a playground with a basketball court. It's literally at the end of the block. Technically, you can shout from my aunt's house and I could hear you from the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? The worst thing, you playing basketball, one of your cousins or your friends, your dad looking for you. Fuck. You stop playing basketball, take the slowest walk you could possibly take up the block.
Did you just make it worse?
You made it worse.
Well, yeah. Everybody's outside. I already told you in past episodes how my aunt block is. Everybody outside, nigga. We outside till 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Walk up the block. Didn't I fucking tell you not to go down to the boom? Right in the chest. You just go sit down looking like an idiot.
Mm-hmm. I got
looking like an idiot.
I'm Raheem could contest to this. Right. And I'm not supposed to be outside at all. Living in the meadows. Okay. Maybe a couple years before you moved in.
15.
I was like 15, 16.
All right.
Yeah. Still, you with your dad, dog.
I'm with my dad. Yeah, I'm with my dad.
Shit.
My dad told me specifically, because I'm still in high school, yo, don't go outside. I did something. I did something goofy.
That's normal.
And I'm outside, but I'm in front of the house. I'm just in front of the house, bro. You know how the Meadows is. You could take 3 steps from the sidewalk and be in your front door. You know what I mean? I'm just in front of the house. I forgot who I was talking to. I'm pretty sure Dino was outside at the time. And my dad pulls up. And Raheem's there. And he's like, yo, Kev, you're not even supposed to be outside. I'm like, I'm right in front of the house. Like, I'm not even out playing. I'm just right here. My dad walked up to me after parking his car because he would normally at that time would pull the Maxima in the garage. Stopped in the driveway. Doop.
My God.
Got out the car and grabbed his briefcase. Had to be from the back seat, from the front seat, from the back seat. Grabbed it out the car. One swoop out. Douche. Yo, didn't I tell you not to come outside? Yeah, I just got out here. That suitcase, bow, back of the head, whole suitcase.
Your dad had a suitcase?
Like a work suitcase. Like, a briefcase. I'm sorry, a briefcase.
Your dad had a briefcase.
Briefcase. Brown leather John too. Full. Wow. Get your dumb ass in the house. Ain't nothing like you being outside, everybody on the street, and you getting hit with a briefcase, and the sidewalk ain't that far from the door. So when he hit me, I'm stumbling into the house like, nigga, embarrassments?
Yeah.
And I still got my ass whooped after the briefcase. Like, yo, I know I told you not to do something, and you decided that you was going to do it anyway.
Hey, Kev.
Why? It doesn't matter how far you went. It's the fact that he told your ass, don't pass that corner, and you went past the corner after specifically being told not to. That's why you got punched in the chest. That's why I got a briefcase to the back of my head.
Yo, I was going to say, what's your name, Kev? What's your name?
Ooh,
No, the other one. You.
Me?
What's your name?
What you mean, Kevin?
What's your name?
Well, white boy?
No. What's your full name? Your full name.
Kevin Perry.
That's your dad's name, right?
Yeah, we got two different middle names.
Same, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What would you do with your kids?
Oh, Kyle tell you she would never go past that corner.
You see what I'm saying? But no, you would do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't hit Kyle with a briefcase though.
What you would do with?
I don't even know where you could buy a briefcase from now. You have to go Amazon, but
Dog, with that.
But yeah, there's repercussions that come along with you not listening to what the fuck I done told you to do.
You see a woman, and that's the thing. Women would tell you shit. They
Even
just
the
let you
slightest
slide.
thing,
They
though.
sometimes let you slide.
Can I please just offer a comedic take on that? I want you to put yourself in your dad's shoes at that point in time. When you drive down the street after making yourself very, very clear. This is including all the stress you got to deal with at work, all the bills you got to pay and make sure it's on time, all the things that you want to do, and certain shit should just be on autopilot. Certain shit. And he drive up after being in traffic, after all this shit, after eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwich that day because he didn't want to spend no money, and see your goofy ass.
I told you, and it's because you already did something goofy. So now you're goofy on goofy, marital shit. So, yeah, but see, man,
you would have did the same thing.
I when my daughter gets in trouble,
Oh God,
I don't put my hands on my daughter because I don't want to hit her. I embarrass her to the point, and I yelled at her to the point where she just feels completely like she just disappointed me in such a manner that she could never come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type of motherfucker that'll drive up, and as I'm driving up and I see her, I'm putting the window down and I'm yelling to her on the way to pulling her up. Why the fuck are you outside? What the fuck? And she'll be trying to walk in the house, but it's I don't seen it. Did you
stumble?
Now all of your friends seen, and as you could be already in the house, as I'm pulling up, I'm yelling at you while you in the house as I'm walking in the house, so they could be like, "Kai, Dad about to fuck her up," but she know I'm not gonna fuck her up, but they don't know that.
My kids, my kids know.
Kev grabbing kids by the ankles, swinging them in the walls and shit.
I ain't swinging the walls, ass.
Hulk smashing them.
Nah, you got
the ankles and whooping their ass with the switch while they dangling.
My dad, like how my dad raised us. My dad was still around. My dad didn't
give us an embarrassing story, Kev. God,
who, me?
Yeah, we both did it.
I told you I got a bunch of embarrassing stories. Like my
about to say, Kev has embarrassed himself on.
Yeah, I embarrassed myself multiple times in this bitch.
Like
but I'm just gonna tell you my story with my pops and like disobeying him. So me and my brother was like, what he tells? He said, "Yo, the room was fucked up," and my dad was like, "Yo, didn't your mom tell y'all clean this room?" And we looking at him like, yeah. He's like, all right, listen, this how it's gonna go. Y'all got an hour to clean this fucking room up like I want it clean. An hour. And he walks out. When me and my brother got start doing. First thing we start doing, we playing around. Boom, playing around, fucking the room up more, playing.
30, y'all done lost 30 minutes.
This man comes back in. He's like, comes back in because he hears playing. He's like, yo, y'all got a half hour to get this room clean. Y'all here playing. I'm just gonna say, yeah. What me and this nigga do? We start half hour
stuffing everything in the closet.
Nah, we start arguing. Me and him start arguing like, whose stuff is this? We clean it up. Like, yo, come on, man, get your stuff. He just said we got half hour. We arguing over what's this, what's that, who clean, whose stuff is this? Arguing. That man comes back in the room, looks at the room, says, y'all got 10 minutes. What we start doing?
He was
trying. I mean, hustling.
You've done that, by the way.
Yeah, hustling. Like, yo, boom, boom, hustling. Man walks in the room. Shit still like kind of fucked up. He's like, didn't I tell y'all to clean this room? Whips our ass. After he whips our ass, like every fathers do, after they whip you, they have a talk to you. Why they did what they did to you. He whipped our ass. We crying. He finally calms down. He's like, I don't want to beat y'all, but it's the principle. He said, I gave y'all an hour to clean this room up. An hour, enough time to clean this room up. Y'all sat around, played, argued, and fighting. All that time y'all could have took to clean this room. He said, here's the lesson y'all about to learn right now. Y'all would have cleaned that. Y'all didn't clean that room in an hour I gave me, and now y'all got an ass whooping. Y'all could have avoided that ass whooping and just cleaned this room. But guess what? I whipped your ass, and y'all still got to clean this room.
I'm about to say, yeah, you got to clean the room.
You still got to clean this room. So he said, the moral to the story, when I tell you to do something, I want it done. Don't hesitate. Don't bullshit. No nothing. Just do it.
And then after he was done, he reset the timer. Now you got an hour.
Nah, he ain't reset the timers. After you get an ass whooping, he tell you to clean that room, you ain't doing nothing. But clean that room. But I learned a valuable lesson. I teach my kids the same lesson. I do the same thing.
I do.
I say, yo, I'm only gonna tell y'all one time. That's it. This is y'all warning. This is the only warning I'm gonna give y'all. I don't care what y'all do, but don't do X, Y, Z. If you do it, it's your ass. So when I come back in the room and they do the shit, it ain't no, let's talk. No, it's your ass, and then I'm gonna break it down to you why you did it. So my kids now know. I'll be like, yo, all right, playtime's over. Do what the fuck y'all gotta do. But that taught me a valuable lesson as a man too, with becoming a man. Like, when my boss say do something, I just do it. Like, I was just like, all right, let me get this shit done so I'll go about my business.
Yo, I dare a kid to say, when you go in there to whip him, say, let's talk about this.
Can we talk this out?
To your dad.
Let's do mediation.
I don't think anybody's had a conversation with they pop.
Hey, yo,
your pops always whip your ass and talk to you. First of all, like after you done whipping your ass.
If you've ever gotten your ass whooped, if you've been a kid and you know what happens when you get your ass whooped, you don't put your hands up like this ever. You don't put no hands anywhere. If they're anywhere, they are like this, because one of your hands is more likely being held because you're trying to get away. But when you got your hands up like this, them motherfuckers turn into samurais and start swinging that hand. Get the motherfucking hands out the way. You know what I mean? Now your hands got whelps on.
Now you're doing the Watusi and shit, trying to get away from the belt.
You're doing a Friday, so your whelps will go down before Monday when you got to go to school.
That shit is crazy.
When it comes to my daughter, when it's time for her to clean her room, you got all day to clean your room. Because guess what? If your room ain't clean, anything you planned on doing is canceled. You ain't going nowhere. You can be in this room all day. No TV, no phone, no music, no nothing. You just got to look at your room until it's clean. And then when it's clean, I don't give a fuck if it take you a week to clean it. You ain't going to do nothing but eat.
But she's a girl. So, girl, your daughter's going to be natural. Like, I wasn't, like, too scared I was scared of my mom. I tested my mom. I would never in God's green earth test my dad.
Oh, nah.
I'm not testing my pops. I may test my mom. I'm not testing my dad. I knew what it was with him.
When my grandparents or my aunt was tired of me, the only sentence that came out of their mouth was, you know what? I'm going to just tell your dad. And I'd be like, no. And then the rest of the day, you just waiting for him to come on because you ain't talking to him. He at work. They the only ones that's getting contact with him right now. You damn sure ain't gonna call his job to see if they told him or not. You know what I mean? So you just sitting home waiting, and then when he come home, he come in, he do his thing, and just when you thought that, oh, maybe they didn't tell him, maybe we good. After he done eating, so I heard you was out here fucking up earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why they make you wait?
they did tell him.
The fear
Y'all
that
told
said
him?
it. The fear that said it. The fear.
I felt like whenever that happened, and I was about to get my ass whooped, there was a parent just looking in the room like, I told your ass I was gonna tell him, creeping in, just eyes watching. That's the shit. The fear.
I'm
The
thinking,
all day fear.
yeah, but your father, man,
That's
like
that
my-
man shit that
yeah.
get put into you.
like
Pause.
it's just a lot of stuff, man. Your pops teach you, man, and like women always talking about, oh, I don't need I don't need his dad around. He don't need his pops. Like, man, that is the goofiest shit I ever heard in my life. Every boy needs his father, man.
Every boy needs his father, but
Happy birthday, Aunt Tracy. If I ain't tell you yesterday.
happy birthday, Aunt Tracy.
Okay.
Every boy needs his father, but
Yeah,
our
but
point
let's
is they need him
read
to
what
help.
his Aunt
grow
Tracy
his
said.
own.
I grew up without a dad in my life, 55, and it still affects me.
And she's a woman.
I ain't saying, like, I know we just speaking on the man because the most part is men who are not sometimes in a relationship, they don't get the benefit of doubt, take the kids with them.
Mm-hmm.
But you need that, you need that father figure, man. That father gives you knowledge. Like, both parents give you knowledge, but they give you their knowledge from their walks of life, how they look at it. How a man sees the world is a completely different view than how a woman sees the world. But you need both of them views for your kids to help you. We give our kids a map of how to get through life with the least amount of bumps possible. Sometimes our kids don't listen along the way and they hit them little hurdles and them bumps, and you feel bad as a parent. You do. You don't never want your kid to fuck up. You feel bad when they fuck up. But it's like, yo, you had to learn that. Like, and I'm going to teach you and talk to you why.
Before we end up, because I know we crunching time, but I got something for y'all. For both of y'all. Y'all can answer it separately. Okay, so scenario. What if, you know how I will just throw the scenario in there, period. You're married, y'all have kids, okay? You end up getting a divorce, and instead of them choosing, okay, children get to choose who to, well, let's say they're not even old enough to do that. Let's say you have one boy, one girl. When it's time to go to court, there is no, the courts feel as though the child should be with the mother, the children should be with the mother. What if they were like, daughters go with the mother, sons go with the father?
Wow.
Do you think that's appropriate? Do you think that a boy could learn more from his father growing up as a man? Not, and it's not saying that the mother wouldn't be in the life anymore. It's just that the child now, the son lives with the mother. I mean, the son lives with the father. The daughter lives with the mother.
No.
Do you think that that's appropriate, or that the son would gain more?
No, because some men are not, and some women, you know what I'm saying, like, aren't equipped. They're just ill-equipped to raise children.
Yeah.
That's the only point I have, is that some men or women,
For that, they're already going to have the kids.
Well, if they
I mean, and Aunt Tracy, I'm not saying, she said he needs both parents, but I'm not saying that they're not going to have. It's not like it's the end of the world. They're never going to see that mother or that father again. When it comes to living arrangements, the son now lives with the father, or if a mother had a boy and the child's parents aren't together, and when they had to go to court, they always decided, all right, well, the boys will always go with the father. If they're going to court and the father wants to be that person in their life, then they grant boys to the fathers and the daughters to the mothers.
I get what you're saying, but like Aunt Tracy was just saying,
I mean, you don't think, like, for you,
it'd be a huge beneficial factor, but
just for the male in that scenario,
if he, like Drake,
assuming they do the right thing.
a good man, like I would never, like, it'll help. It'll help. Like a lot of stuff will be in this early ages will be help, but real shit. How courts should really do that, man. They should give if the parent is fit and they're a good parent, they should give
The
you
most beneficial parent who can
but they what they
provide for the child.
nah, what they should do is whatever. But what they should do if they're both good parents, they should be like, listen, man, the kid's still young. The first couple of years, you reside with your mother. In the next couple of years, even years, you go live with your father. That way, kids, because you
I like
got
that
because like
scenario.
I raised y'all know me. I raised my daughter. I raised my
Her
daughter
whole life.
her whole life.
Mhm.
But what made my daughter was the benefacts. She had my mother there.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
a lot of people like, yo, your daughter is so respectful and all this. And I'm like, well, that's how my mother raised her. Like she don't like dressing a certain way. She like acting a
She's
certain
very
way.
respectful.
Cause like I like she got everything. When I told my daughter, I never just told my daughter I was some clean cut guy. I always told my daughter the worst about me, and I will always say to her, like, listen, you look at me like I could do no wrong. But I'm telling you right here as a man, I've done plenty of wrong. So what you think a man in the streets who don't know you gonna do to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom would teach her little lessons and everything. That's why my daughter got a head on shoulder. Whereas some females, they don't have like I ain't gonna say all females turn out to be this way, but some females don't have their father in their life. Some, not all. Some go searching for a man in their life to fill a father roles, and they get mistreated by a man just beating down on them and talking to them all crazy and mistreating them because they over here looking for their father that they never had. So
Yeah.
this man that might not be right for them is filling that void for them, and they think that's right. That's why you need because Father's Day is up. You need the father in kids' life. I don't care if you and the dad don't get along, you and your ex don't get along. That's between you and your ex. Like I tell all people all the time, you want to key my car, bitch. You want to pour sugar in my tank. You want to egg my house and TP my driveway. I don't care. Shit don't bother me. I don't care. No, I care. But I'm saying I don't care. But I'm saying, but when it comes to me getting my kid, there should be no hesitation. They'd be like, you come to get them. It's your weekend.
Yeah.
Bye. See you. Because they obviously need you. Go do your thing. Be with your pops. Then come back home.
That's right.
I don't know what would be the right approach to any situation like that, because I would say that each situation would be different depending on the people that are involved. But the one thing that I do know is that you are correct in the essence of no matter if it's a female or a male, they need both parents to be involved so they can get both aspects of life and be able to learn from both views.
Yep.
But I'm going to stand on me as a male. I'm not going to be able to teach my daughters what their mothers can. And I know their mothers would never be able to teach any son that I have or plan on having what I could teach them. It's just mentally impossible. I mean, unless you've ever walked in the shoes of a man mentally and know what a man has to, because I could never walk in a female's shoes and have to deal with the shit that they deal with. Just childbirth alone, my nigga. Nope. You know, I watched a video. It was supposed to be a comedy video, but it was supposed to be like depicting a man getting pregnant, and the way that he got pregnant was when he was artificially inseminated by a woman. His fucking balls and dick got bigger because that's where the baby came out of. Now it was fucking funny, but it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? A crazy video. But I could never, ever, because I don't like getting stung by a motherfucking bee.
Yeah,
Okay?
I definitely don't want fucking ball babies.
I don't like pain, and I've got plenty of tats. And when I'm getting tattooed, I dread it every time. Like, nigga, why are you doing this? But what they go through, and a physical and mental pain, I couldn't do that. But there's certain shit that I feel as though they couldn't do or go through that I have to go through. You know what I mean? And it's vice versa for each situation. So I stand on that. I don't think that you could teach a woman could teach a boy to grow to be a man the way a man would teach a boy to grow to be a man, and I don't think a man could teach a woman to be a young lady to be a woman the way the mother would be able to teach her to be a woman and hold herself. You know what I mean? It's just a different mentality. I
I'm a,
couldn't tell my daughter that I've walked in her shoes as a woman and I know what she's going through because I don't. I don't know what a period is like. I don't know what menstruation or none of that's like. I don't know about, some of the stuff that you feel um where you lose self-confidence in. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that you might think that I would never think. I don't know. And it's just like that. And I say that to my daughter's mom all the time. Like you have to deal with this because you're better equipped with the situation. And I'll back you up. Support. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. That's how it should be. I don't know enough about this subject. You have to teach her about this subject, and then I will support you. You know what I mean? But I can't tell her something that I don't know about.
before we wrap this up, this is like a question that everybody can answer. Because we all miss, like, we always raised by one person in our life. And I'll start with Dre, then it can move on to you, then move on to me. The parent that was missing in your life, Dre, was your father. Do you feel as though as you're older now that there's some things you lack that he didn't give you that you needed from him?
Yeah, yeah. There are things, and I'll go back to what I said earlier. It's things that I had to. It just took me longer to figure out.
I'm sorry. I read that and I couldn't stop myself.
It took me longer to figure out. That's really what it was for me. I don't know everything, but man stuff, it just took me because remember I did have my grandfather. So it just took me longer. The learning curve. That's what I said about women raising boys to be men. I just feel like there's a steeper learning curve that a couple lessons that you just have to go through rather than somebody instilling them in you and then you kind of know when it comes.
All right, Kev, you didn't have your mother, your father raised you, but your mother wasn't there as much as your father was. Is there some things that you needed from your mother that your father can give you?
Yeah, she was my mom's. I mean, so I had my grandmom, you know what I mean? It's not like that I was missing that mother figure in my life, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like you know that that's not your mother. Like, yeah, that's my grandma, and she is the top dog of everybody here, and I know that and duly respected as that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the same. Like it's like you living in one world and knowing that there's a whole nother world that you can't indulge in. You know what I mean? That you're supposed to be a part of, but it's like something at arm's reach and you still can't touch it, if that makes any sense. Um, it definitely makes you feel left out and less wanted as a child. Um, I mean, I got the brother that I'm closest to, and not to say that I'm not close to my brother Raheem, but the brother that I'm the most closest to that I talk to on an everyday basis comes from my mother. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we live worlds away, and we're still me and my brother Cyrus are the same person. You know what I mean? We do exactly the same shit. So I know, you know what I mean? Like that's my that we what we make a joke and be like, that's my mama boy right there. You know what I mean? We we play like that because we know like we are in essence the same person that came from this woman and we live worlds away in a sense because his life and the way he was raised was completely different than mine and they lived 45 minutes from us, 40 minutes from us. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't remember my mom past the age of 12. You know what I mean? So I don't have memories of me being a kid. Like the furthest back I can remember is my mom being at my Chislehurst elementary graduation. But that's as far back as it goes. And I was like 12 then. You know what I mean? So I don't have like memories as a kid and us doing all these different things with my mom because I would see my mom maybe once a month, once every other month type shit. If that until I was an adult. And then we would go and visit her. So I didn't have the same I just didn't feel like I had the same want or received the same love, or I kind of missed out on a lot of things that I shouldn't have with family that I probably could have been a lot closer to. But I mean, that's not to give a dig on her now. Like, I'm an adult, we talk, and I mean, it is what it is. Life happens. You know what I'm saying? But as a kid growing up, it's just like that there's something there that you should be a part of, but you can't be. Not because you can't be, but in your eyes, it's like maybe they don't want you to be part of it. You just don't know. So it's just like a lost feeling. So you just let it go. That's pretty much what I did. I just pretty much let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of shit I could get into about that.
We should get into it. That's a deep conversation, bro. I did never all my years of knowing you never really expressed that to me.
Yeah, because I've never really have a conversation about my mom because she wasn't around for me to actually want to have a conversation. It's like I don't even know my mom. Like, not to say that I don't know who she is, but I don't know her in a sense. Like, I know she's my mom, but I don't know her life story. I know shit that I've been around for, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's shit that my brother just told me, my older brother just told me a couple months ago that I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've never heard these stories before. And he's like, you never knew that? And I'm like, nigga, how would I know that?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. You know what I mean? Like, how would I know that? Like, me and my brothers are now just starting to actually try to make our bond stronger because we're adults and we know our time isn't going to be here as long as we want it to be. But we're fucking 40, 35, we're fucking grown as fuck. And we're just now attempting to make it a strong bond. I missed like 30 years with I'm 38. I missed close to 30 years with my brothers, like close to a 30-year span of having an actual relationship with niggas who came out the same wound as me. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely a loss. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never known that, cousin. I love you. That's all I can tell you. I love you because that was some deep shit, man. I never, like I said, we've been homies forever. You never really like that. Really, it kind of fucked me up, man, because you never really talked about that shit in me ever. Like, and we've been, you know what I mean? We've been through a lot together. So that's, I mean, hopefully that, you know what I mean?
I love my brother. I mean, I talked to my older brother this morning. I talked to my youngest brother yesterday. Me and Cyrus talk every fucking day, like 3 times a day. And that's how I know that our bond is the closest, because that motherfucker won't let a day go by without him texting. Just a text. Yo, what's up, bro? What you doing? That's it. Simple. I'm chilling. All right. I was just checking on you. Every day it's something from him. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, it has to be. He has to do it. You know what I'm saying? And this is my youngest brother who he has custody of damn near all his kids. He's been doing it by himself since he was a kid, in a sense. You know what I mean? And we're probably one of the more responsible brothers that I got. But I mean, they're all pretty responsible, but one that I give a lot of praise to. And you know what I'm saying? Me and him talk about the shit all the time. You know what I mean? And we just know what it is. You know what I mean? Because we know how we've always felt about the situation. It's always been mutual. You know what I mean? It's crazy because when you live 40 minutes from somebody that you want to be with, because y'all share that bond, and you can't really do it being kids because you have to depend on the mom and the father. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is just a hole. It's like a missing piece of you for a long time. You know what I mean? To wait till you like fucking 30 years to make sure that shit is right, shit's crazy. So yeah, parents, you should motherfucking be in your kid's life and make sure that shit works out so they can have that kinship with these motherfucking other kids that you bringing in the world that they should be sharing their lives with and protecting. You know what I'm saying? And being able to live the life and because man, think of 20 years. Who knows what me and my brother could have did in that time span? You know what I mean? We could have did whatever. All that time that's missing. Like, his kids barely know me, my kids barely know him, and we're their uncles. You know what I mean? And he's got 5 kids. 2 of them never met me. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So that shit, I mean, that shit is it is a hurt piece, but it's just shit you gotta deal with as you become older, and you know what I mean? It's just it is what it is.
Just hope you don't repeat the same.
Nah, my
mistakes.
kids.
I know.
They together
Yeah, I know
just
they
right
are.
now.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
I want to thank you for sharing that, man. I think that was a real, like, that was deep. That was very deep, and I really appreciate you sharing that, not only with us but with people who listen to us, because that was very deep.
Well, I mean, I hope it hits.
It hit me. It hit me hard.
Make them see that you could. Time is not what you think it is. I mean, I'm 38. I feel like I'm 60 some days. You know what I mean? And you got to tell who you love that you love them when you can tell them, because you might not wake up tomorrow. You know what I mean? Every day should be a blessing. And when you wake up, you should just be thankful that you woke up and then deal with your adversities after. But all that time that you miss, if you want to be around somebody because that's a person that you want to be around with, waste no time. You know what I'm saying? Involve the people that you love in your life. That's it. Because when you're gone or when they're gone, that's it. You ain't going to be able to do it no more. You're just going to have memories. And you're just going to have to live off memories. Because I know your grandfather, and my grandfather, that's all we do is live off memories. So,
yeah.
That boy came shooting today.
Exactly.
He came to shoot. I don't hear nothing else.
Steph Curry with the shot, man. I mean, I hope everybody enjoyed. Like we always say at the end of John, if you love what we talking about, like the page, subscribe, share.
Tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your papa, tell your friends.
We can be found here live every Sunday, man. And we read comments. The comments come up on here. We either read them or we let the people see, let the people see what you're talking about. So we interact with the people in our show. So nobody got nothing else to say. I guess we wrap this up with a peace.
Shout out to Africa. Peace.
Shout out to fucking Africa. Peace.
Peace, Africa.
Peace.